And the way I see it is that, I mean, people love this change, the majority, of course, and people love their president because he have won the heart of the people, because he is a president that have fought for them for 25 years. I mean, you cannot write the Mexican history, the first 25 years, the first quarter of the 21st century without López Obrador. He has changed a lot in Mexico, and with a social movement that went with him, but he has been the head of that.
Bienvenidos mexicanos a una videoinformación más de su canal Legión Política. Yo soy su amigo Alberto Mott, y a continuación veremos una entrevista la cual está dándole la vuelta al mundo. Y es que una de las corcholatas de la Cuarta Transformación para el próximo 2024, pues fue entrevistada, la doctora Claudia Sheinbaum, por dos periodistas estadounidenses, que son lo que viene siendo Zoe Alexandra y Rania Kalek, en las cuales le preguntan muchas cosas a la que viene siendo la corcholata Claudia Sheinbaum, y ella responde categóricamente. Inclusive se darán cuenta, por favor les pido que presten mucha atención en plena entrevista, cómo están totalmente sorprendidas por el conocimiento que tiene la doctora Claudia. Inclusive muchos de los comentarios de la gente es sobre todo qué buen inglés tiene la doctora Claudia. Pero lo más importante que hay que recalcar, que creo que todos nosotros estamos seguros, a mí no me importa en lo más mínimo si habla o no el inglés. Al parecer a mucha gente le importa demasiado. A mí me interesa más que sea como el presidente Andrés Manuel, que sea una persona totalmente derecha, un político que trabaja por el pueblo mexicano, y lo de los idiomas está de más, al menos a mi punto de vista. Si es bueno, si lo sabe, muy bien, pero realmente no, ahora sí que no perjudica, no beneficia, pero sí, eso es muy importante, el demostrar la honradez que ha tenido el presidente López Obrador, y creo que con eso nos damos por bien servidos. Los comentarios antes de ir directo con el video, está un poquito largo, los recorté las partes más importantes, ojalá le presten mucha atención, y me encantaría que me pongan sus comentarios. Ya ven muchos. Eduardo Rosas, qué orgullo me siento de escucharla. Hay gente que pues hay de todo, le detesto, pero he de reconocer que tiene un buen inglés. No todo es criticar con sesgo, le repito, pues el inglés es lo de menos. She speaks better than I thought. Lo habla mejor de lo que pensaba. Es que Andrés Manuel no habla inglés, ahora qué dirá la fachiza. Pues ahí de gusto se rompen colores. Su inglés no está al nivel del infrastructure, ni mucho menos el de Guay de Rito, pero creo que los mexicanos sin malos charles ya no nos impresionan con sus English levels. Nosotros vamos por honestidad, austeridad y sobre todo el amor por México, creo que es primordial y lo más importante que tienen que tener todos los políticos para que obviamente velen por los intereses del pueblo mexicano. Mis respetos, ojalá la Lela Telles, no creo que Lela Telles la entrevisten estas periodistas a nivel internacional porque sabemos que solamente para insultar, despotricar y atacar, pues bueno, ya están los medios tradicionales que les dan su tiempo de ellos, ¿no? Y muchísimos más amigos y amigas, les voy a poner el video y me gustaría que me pongan sus comentarios qué piensan de ello, porque está muy interesante. Vamos a ver.
Hello everyone, I'm Rania Kalek with Breakthrough News.
I'm Zoe Alexandra with People's Dispatch. We're here in Mexico City and we're joined by Dr. Claudia Sheinbaum, the head of government of Mexico City and one of the founders of Morena Party of President Andrés Manuel López Obrador. She's a rising figure in Mexican politics and one of the frontrunners in the 2024 Mexican presidential elections.
Dr. Sheinbaum, thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you for coming.
So let's jump right into it. You studied environmental engineering in university, and today you are the head of government of one of the largest cities in the world, over 20 million people in Mexico City. And you're also one of the founders of the largest progressive political party in the region, Morena. Can you tell us about your journey into politics? You went from student activism to being an elected official. What were your politics like growing up?
Well, first of all, my background is physics. I studied physics, then energy engineering for my master and my PhD. And when I was 15 years old, that was the first time that when I was in high school, the first time that I get involved in student mobilization, the student movement, because many people couldn't get into the high school. So I was in, but I was, in solidarity with those that couldn't have the possibility of studying. And then, I get involved in social politics. And it was very important for us in 1988 when Ingeniero Cárdenas was candidate for presidency. And it was very important for us because we came from a student movement and we decided, I said us because our generation, and we decided to go to Ingeniero Cárdenas. And later on, I went to the US to study my PhD. And then I returned and I was part of the university. But I was involved from my parents that they were involved in the 1968 student movement. So I was involved in politics, but my main occupation was to be a mother and to be in the university. And in 2000, President López Obrador, when he was chief of government of Mexico City, he invited me to be the Minister of Environment. And I get involved, and later on in 2006 with the electoral fraud, I was, with López Obrador, even though I returned to the university, I was, with him in all the movement that finally get into the burn of Morena.
Great. Well, we know that PRI and PAN really maintained a stranglehold over Mexican politics since 1946. In 2016, Morena was founded to be an alternative to this. And in 2018, of course, Morena achieved a historic electoral victory with the election of Andrés Manuel López Obrador. What does this mean for the course of Mexican politics?
In 2016, when Morena was created, nobody wanted to be in Morena because it was a new party. And in Mexico, you have to win a certain percentage of the votes to be an official party. And it was very difficult because just a few people wanted to be in Morena. And the decision to get away from PRD, the party that we were, is that, we thought at that time that there was no possibility in our party that was getting very close to the official party. So we decided to create. I said we decided because there were a lot of assemblies in all the country that decided to create this party. And from 2016 to 2022, it's, 7 years. And now we have, the presidency, 22 governors of 32, the majority in the Congress, the majority in the Senate, and a lot of municipal presidentials. Why? It's because people want to change. And it's a change from economic model. Neoliberalism now is in the past. And we have now a government that thinks in the majority, thinks in Mexican people rather than thinks in a privileged group. So,
one of those reasons that you mentioned before, which is, of course, the transformation. The fourth transformation has been the guiding project of your party, Morena. So I think it's interesting if you can tell us a bit about what does the fourth transformation mean, what has it accomplished so far, and for you, what is the vision for continuing this project and what's left?
Okay, we call it fourth transformation because since we are a nation, we have had 3 transformations before. The first one is the independence that began in 1810. The second one was the reform with Benito Juárez. We divided the church from the state, and we have also the French invasion and the U.S. invasion. So 19th century, especially the second half of 19th century, was very important for Mexico. And then for many, many years, we have a dictator that was Porfirio Díaz. So the third transformation was the Mexican Revolution, which changed, the government not only for more democracy, but to see the government for the social rights. These 3 transformations were violent. There were wars. And the fourth transformation is pacific because we believe in peace. And what have changed? We, in 2008, in December, we can say that the economic model changed from neoliberalism, that at some point in Mexico it's equal to corruption, and also to give most of the national natural resources to private companies, to a new way of governing that now we call it Mexican humanism. And it's mainly, we believe in private investment, we believe in trade, of course, in free trade. We have a trade with the US and Canada, but we believe that the states have to give the rights for the people. What do we think is a right? Education, health, household, or dwelling, pension for all the elders. And we believe that government has, and also we believe in that strategic areas of economy, such as energy, the state has to be part of this, especially electricity, oil, and mainly, and now lithium, that it's going to be very important. It's important and it's going to be very important in the future. So it's the basic. But we believe also in trade. We believe in private investment, but we believe in wealth for Mexican people that drugs make. Especially fentanyl destroy human lives. But it's cooperation. It's not invasion. So you say that invasion. Yeah. So it's not violence. We have to work together to stop the consumption and to stop the market of fire guns that come mainly from the U.S. So it's mutual. So we have to work together, not this thing that it's just, I think, propagandistic. But we have to defend Mexico at all points.
So over the past several months, there have been very large and important mobilizations in support of President Andrés Manuel, of the Project of Morena, the Fourth Transformation, in support of the nationalization of lithium. There's now one more year left of AMLO term as president. Can you maybe just, to finalize this interview, if we can kind of talk a bit about these last few years, Morena being in power, and really, what has this meant for the people of Mexico?
Okay, it meant general pension for elder people. It meant a lot of scholarship for poor people, universal scholarship for high school students that go to public schools. We're going to have a new train in the south of the country, another train that goes from the Pacific to the Atlantic to the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to have several ports. We are going to have a lot of investment in new roads. We have already. We have a new airport. So if you take, the last governments, and this government, we have a lot of public investment. The highest foreign investment in Mexico, and you have at the same time new rights for the people. And that's why people are, with President López Obrador in 70%, is because they see that this new government change and is benefit for everybody. And he fought for Mexico, and he fought for a new way of seeing history, even for our ancient cultures. So Mexico have changed a lot in more than 4 years, a lot. And the way I see it is that, people love this change, the majority, of course, and people love their president because he have won the heart of the people, because he's a president that have fought for them for 25 years. You cannot write the Mexican history the first 25 years, the first quarter of the 21st century without López Obrador. He has changed a lot in Mexico, and with a social movement that went with him, but he has been the head of that. So, things are changing for good in Mexico. And I think that we have to continue this transformation. We cannot go to the corruption and to the old governments that only did something for privileged people. So we are in peace. We have political peace. We have social peace. We have violence in certain points of the country because of drug cartels. But we have to continue giving rights for the people and at the same time combating, the drug cartels and every violence that are in Mexico. So it's we are in a good place right now.
Well, Dr. Sheinbaum, we want to thank you so much for joining us and giving us your time.
No, thank you very much for you. Thank you.
Las periodistas quedaron totalmente sorprendidas con el excelente manejo de lo que es la candidata, una de las corcholatas de la Cuarta Transformación, la doctora Claudia Sheinbaum. Ojalá entrevisten a las demás. Cabe recalcar que los demás, cualquiera de las que sea la elección por medio de la encuesta, son ahora sí que son candidatos o candidatas de lujo. Ya quisiera ver a una Lili Telles, a un Santiago Krill, a quien tú me quieras poner a tener un tipo de entrevista con unas periodistas a nivel internacional para que vean de qué manera se desenvuelven. Como bien dijo, la parte importante de la Cuarta Transformación es de una manera pacífica el crecimiento y desarrollo del pueblo mexicano, el invertir en sectores que siempre fueron olvidados, en toda la gente que jamás se le apoyó en tiempos anteriores, y lo más importante, que sigan siendo humanos y apoyando a la gente más necesitada. Amigos y amigas, a mí me da muchísimo gusto, les repito, cualquiera que esté en las boletas, Hay que apoyar esta cuarta transformación, candidato o candidata que sea de tu preferencia. Hay que seguir con el movimiento porque sí es la única manera de que podemos salir adelante y que siga este crecimiento que no había tenido en las últimas décadas el pueblo mexicano. No sé qué piensas tú, me gustaría que me pongas sus comentarios. Recuerda que son los más valiosos y los leemos todos. Y bueno, hasta aquí llega mi participación. Espero que les haya gustado el video. Si les gustó, les invito a suscribirse a su canal de Legión Política. Comparten la información para que más gente se entere de esta noticia. Y de favor, apóyenos con un poderosísimo like, que nos ayuda muchísimo a que YouTube nos recomiende y más gente se entere de esta información que obviamente en los chayomedios jamás vas a encontrar. Amigos y amigas, no me queda más que agradecerles por su tiempo, por su valiosísimo espacio y nos vemos en la próxima.